It's one of those days again. Very windy. We had rain all day yesterday and we can't seem to get rid of either one at the moment. Considering it's now June, apparently, according to the local growers, everything is at least 6 weeks behind. Which is not good if you're trying to grow vegetables. And it seems like it's been like that for the last couple of years as well. But we have to keep trying. That's the reason why the camera is in the storage area at the moment. Just to cut down on that wind noise. We've still got a little bit of sponge on there as well, so that should be helping. But I've been looking at these peppers this morning and I'm thinking I'm going to pop one indoors in a container and see how much better it grows compared to these ones outside. The ones outside are doing fine and you can grow peppers outdoors as long as you're not in a really cold area. These have come on really well considering they've been outside since we got here. And this one, I think, is one of those that we topped. And you can see it's now a really bushy plant. It's quite stocky as well. So that's perfect to put in a container. We'll put it on that dining table next to the window and see if we can encourage more growth by raising the temperature by a few degrees. This one has got lots of little peppers trying to grow in it as well. We're also going to have to make sure that they get pollinated. They're not going to get pollinated indoors, but you could do it yourself with just a cotton bud by just rubbing each flower. Just go from one to the other and that will help pollinate your plant. But when we get a nice calm warm day, we can just bring it back outside and leave it out there and then take it back in at night and we'll see how we get on with that. It's definitely worth trying, and then we can tidy it up a little bit as well, take away some of these older leaves like that. They're not going to be doing nothing. And by doing that, we can make it even more compact. But this plant, considering it's been outside for quite a few weeks, is definitely trying. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to put it in a good sized container as well. With plenty of drain holes in bottom, really important. But that's plenty of room for a plant that size. And definitely big enough if we're going to leave it indoors. So I'm not sure how this video is going to turn out until we've actually edited it, but because I've got the camera in this enclosed area, the sound might be slightly echoey. So we'll get some compost, we're going to add feed to this as well. We'll get it in this big container and we'll start moving plants indoors. Only that one, seriously. We'll just get some compost in this quickly. I'm having to hold the door with my elbow because it doesn't clip back, the wind keeps blowing it. So we'll get this container weighed down for a start. A nice bit of compost that actually. That's that new stuff. So we'll grab another bag and we'll get this filled. So since this is only part filled, I can get it measured up for this plant and I want to sink it a little bit. So that's easy sorted. Then we'll add that fish blood and bone to it as well. Make sure we've got plenty in there. We'll get this plant out and have a quick look at the root system. And you can see there, we have got some decent roots. And this is actually quite wet due to all that rain we've been having. And you don't want your peppers being constantly wet, they don't like it. Let's get that in there and see where we're at. So if I just press that down a little bit, that just takes us below that rim, so that's perfect. Now all we need to do is backfill. So we'll get a bit of fresh compost in and break it lumps up as well as I go. Just get it in before everything blows away. I'm just going to bang that to settle it. Then firming it in as we go. That's nice and central, it's nice and straight, and it's in new compost with a lot of feed as well. And that should just about do it. And that's going to be his only experimental indoor pepper. So that's his plant set up, ready to carry on growing indoors now. And hopefully this one will do a lot better than the ones outside. We've already got quite a few peppers growing on this plant, but now it's indoors, what I want to do is get rid of some of the older leaves, make it even more compact by doing that. These particular leaves, quite big, they've been on plant for a long time and they have got a little bit of damage to them. So since it's now indoors, leaves like that I'm going to take off. And I can see that there's little side shoots coming from in between these branches. So if we take those leaves away, that's going to encourage that fresh growth on this plant. So all these long ones we'll get rid of. There's some that's coming out as shoots from bottom at main stem, and they're now starting to get extra leaves. I'm going to leave those on because we are trying to get a nice bushy plant. But once again, another quite long one there. So snip that away, making sure we don't cut off that little side shoot at the same time. But right at the very bottom of this plant, we've got even smaller leaves. They're too close to that compost and they're not going to do anything, so we're going to take those off as well. Just making sure that the bottom of your plant's always clear. There's a very small one at the bottom there, I'll just show you that. That was getting its own little side shoot on there, if you can see that. Which will have become quite a decent sized branch. It's just too close to that base. We need to clear that area as much as we can. So that one can go as well. And there's a very tiny one. And then this one again is an older leaf and quite a big one. So we'll work his way in, snip that one away. That will about do it. We've now got a really nice compact plant and it's already got buds on that's going to provide us with peppers, hopefully. But if not, we'll self-pollinate it and see if that helps it along. So that's his experimental indoor pepper plant. We'll just leave that on that table over there in front of a sunny window, out of that wind. And I'm pretty sure that this year everybody's in the same boat. The weather has been terrible since spring from one end of the country to other. But we make do as best we can by creating wind protection and whatever else we need to do this year, just to make sure that what we've done is going to provide us with something of an harvest by end of season. But I have noticed on weather that next week in this area that wind is going to drop and we're going to get quite a bit of sunshine and the temperatures are going up. And it's about time, because last night was actually quite cold. It was only about 40, and at this time of year you'd be expecting temperatures around 50 at least during night. So we're 10 degrees short on that. So that's it for today. It's too blustery to do anything else out there at the moment, so I'll be finding things to do indoors. And lots of people grow peppers as perennial indoor plants, so if you fancy giving that a try this year, you can do. But one thing that you might want to consider doing is pouring boiling water over the top of your compost before you move your plants indoors, and that's before you put the plant in, and that'll kill any insect eggs, because we don't want those little black things flying around the living room. I haven't done that, but maybe that's something that you might want to do. So that's that setup, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be a bit calmer so we can get back out there and do something else, because we've got quite a lot of things that we need to harvest once again. We've got some really big sized lettuces, so it's going to be a little bit for me and a little bit for kitchens. If you're interested in seeing what we're going to be doing between now and weekend, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you really soon. Take care.